They kicked in my front door at 5:07 in the damn morning, with fake badges, black tactical gear, and a bogus gas leak story. 4 grown men armed with clipboards and arrogance stormed my house like it was a drug bust. But they didn't count on 2 things. 1, my cameras were already rolling, and 2, my son is a trained MMA fighter. Spoiler alert. They picked the wrong house. I'm Jack McAllister, 55, semi-retired, widower, and pretty allergic to bullshit. I bought my place in Elm Ridge, Nevada 12 years ago because I wanted space. Space to breathe, to live quiet, to sip coffee on my porch and not hear a damn thing but wind. My house ain't fancy. 1 story, decent internet, and a backyard that reminds you why people used to want land. It was peace until she showed up. Karen Whitmore. Name sounds innocent. Face of a PTA president. But her eyes, like twin laser pointers looking for someone to roast. She got elected president of our HOA a few months ago. Rolled in like a wannabe dictator in yoga pants. First thing she did was rip down our friendly little welcome sign and put up a 6-foot banner that said Pride, Security, Standards. That should have been my warning. The first violation notice showed up taped to my door. Said my porch light was aggressively luminous. Yeah, I didn't know that was a thing either. Second one claimed my truck was parked 2 degrees off alignment. I laughed, crumpled it, moved on. Third one accused me of nocturnal suspicious activity. That suspicious male was my son, Tyler, 28, former pro fighter, recovering from a leg injury. Big guy, heart of gold. But if you mess with his dad, you're gonna meet the mat. Hard. I figured it was just Karen flexing her new power, trying to scare the neighborhood into line. So I dug out the HOA charter, went full nerd, highlighted the parts about property rights, board votes, and inspections. Wrote a letter. Firm, legal, boring. Sent it certified. Thought that would be the end. Then someone slipped a note under my door. No envelope, no name. Just typed in bold. Next violation will result in internal inspection. That's when I stopped laughing. Tyler didn't wait. That night we installed motion lights, perimeter cams, full security setup. He wired everything so that any movement triggered recordings, local and cloud. If they're planning something, he said, they better bring lawyers, not clipboards. 2 nights later, an SUV with HOA Enforcement Division, stenciled on the side, started circling the block. Blacked out windows. City doesn't use vehicles like that. County sure as hell doesn't. Next morning, I saw a guy parked across the street. Dark glasses, tactical polo, earpiece. When I walked toward him, he drove off. That same day, 2 guys showed up at my front gate. Mid-40s, matching uniforms. No badges, just embroidered patches. They didn't knock, just stood there like bouncers waiting for a fight. I stepped outside, phone already recording. "Can I help you?" I asked. "We're here for a routine inspection," one said. "Part of HOA's public safety initiative." I said, "Funny, that initiative's not in the bylaws. We've been authorized by the president." "Authorization isn't law," I replied. "You're not inspectors, you're not cops, you're not even legal." He handed me a laminated sheet. Looked like a 10th grade graphic design project. Big HOA logo. No seal. No legal reference. I pointed at my no trespassing sign. "You set foot past that line," I said, "and I'll consider it criminal." They left. That night, Tyler upgraded the lights to stadium-grade flood beams. The place looked like a damn game show if you stepped near it. I didn't sleep well. I kept thinking, either Karen had hired true believers, or people who just wanted to play war on weekends. Then Harper showed up. Harper Rivera, my neighbor, and thank God, a lawyer. She told me Karen had created a secret wing of the HOA board. No votes, no transparency, just a private enforcement crew she called Internal Integrity. Sounds like a dystopian novel, right? They weren't registered, no licenses, totally illegal. A couple days later, I found a wireless earpiece buried in my hedges. That's when it clicked. This wasn't about rules anymore. This was about control. And then came the raid, 5:07 a.m. A thunderous crack. Front door explodes inward. Flashlights slicing the hallway. 4 men shouting about a gas leak. No badges, no warrant. Just black gear and made-up authority. One tried to grab me, too hard for an inspection. Before I could shout, Tyler came flying out of his room in gym shorts, still half asleep. But once he saw me getting manhandled, it was go time. First guy caught a front kick to the gut, launched backwards into the coat rack. Second one tried to square up. Tyler pivoted and hit him with a textbook elbow. Third made the mistake of going for a tackle. Tyler spun, locked his shoulder, and brought him down with a pop that echoed. The fourth? He just backed up with his hands raised. I called 911. Sheriff's deputies showed up 8 minutes later. Tyler stood calm, breathing steady, like he just finished morning stretches. The officers were on the floor groaning. Deputies weren't sure what to believe until I showed them the footage. Audio. Multiple angles. One guy actually said they were protecting community safety. Tyler just raised an eyebrow and said, "By kicking in our door?" They asked if they could take the footage. I printed it on the spot. And just when things started settling, Karen herself rolled up. White SUV, clipboard in hand, face pinched like she sucked on lemons for breakfast. Walked through the police tape like she owned it. "This was an authorized inspection," she said. "We acted under the Emergency Compliance Ordinance." The officer asked for documentation. She handed him 6 pages of made-up policies and pseudo-legal nonsense. Harper showed up dressed like she walked out of court. "These men are not licensed," she said. "This entire operation violates at least 3 state laws, and I've got proof." They didn't arrest anyone that day, but the questions started flying. Officers made calls. One of the HOA goons got hauled off in an ambulance. I got a call that afternoon from a block number. "You assaulted legally appointed personnel," the voice said. "There will be consequences. We didn't fold. We filed." Harper helped me report the unauthorized raid, the impersonation, the damages. Meanwhile, Karen went on full PR blitz, sent out bulletins calling us volatile and dangerous, plastered our address in bold, no name, just address, like a damn target. Harper came back that night with gold. Real documents, proving the HOA's enforcement division was fake. Their uniforms were cosplay grade. The SUV registered to a P.O. box tied to Douglas Residential Services, Karen's company. And then we followed the money. Turns out, Karen had rerouted over $120,000 in HOA funds to a shell company owned by her brother. Payments labeled as community preparedness. The deeper we dug, the worse it got. Fake licenses, fake companies, expired permits. It wasn't just HOA corruption. It was organized fraud. She sued us anyway. Filed in small claims court. Tried to paint Tyler as a violent aggressor. Said they had every right to enter. Said our resistance was a threat to the community. We walked into court that Monday with a stack of evidence an inch thick. Footage. Documents. State license denials. Harper presented the bank trails. Tyler never said a word. Just sat there, silent, steady, watching. When the judge saw the footage, he leaned forward, removed his glasses, and said, "Son, if this woman's group kicked in a door and faked law enforcement, You're gonna need to listen real carefully. The case was dismissed, with prejudice, meaning Karen couldn't sue again. Then came the subpoenas. Turns out we weren't the only ones. Neighbors started sharing stories of surprise inspections, fake fines, midnight visits. One guy got fined for having unauthorized wind chimes, another for festive illumination, Christmas lights. We formed a coalition, and finally the bomb dropped. Karen was arrested. Quiet, no spectacle. Just two officers walking her out in cuffs while her brother stood nearby looking like someone had yanked the plug on his empire. 18 charges: fraud, impersonation, unlawful entry, forgery. The HOA was dissolved. That evening I sat on my porch. Brand new door, reinforced frame, smart lock. The silence. It finally felt earned, and I thought they really kicked in the wrong damn door. So, who's really in the wrong here?